All right, what's going on, everyone? Anthony here, and today we have the Marvel's Legends X-Men Age of Apocalypse. This is the deluxe figure in the Age of Apocalypse wave that they have released this year. You know, the one with Dark Beast, basically the Sugar Man Build-A-Figure. And if you're not aware, it's basically just a retool of the Build-A-Figure Apocalypse that we got a while back with, I believe, Wolverine. Gladiator, some other people were in that wave. I don't know. I don't have it. I just recently started collecting Marvel's Legends last year, at the end of last year. And yeah, this is it. I got an Apocalypse. Now, I actually prefer it. I love the Age of Apocalypse storyline. If you're not aware, it's basically a quick rundown is that Professor X's son feels some neglect. He goes back in time to try to kill Magneto, thinking he's the reason Charles doesn't really, pay attention to him or whatever. And instead of killing Magneto, Charles gets in the way and he accidentally kills Professor X. And Apocalypse basically takes advantage of that, takes over the world because Charles never created his X-Men to stop him. And now we have a post-apocalyptic alternate timeline where he is the almighty ruler. But legalese, spine artwork, a little bio right there if you want to read it real quick. But yeah, enough rambling. What do you say we get this guy out of the box and see what he's all about? All right, and here we have him out of packaging. And my gosh, this figure is massive. And you know what's actually pretty funny? I may not have the original Apocalypse Build-A-Figure, but from comparisons I've seen, the original one was actually taller than this one. Not by much. I would say about like half a forehead is what I was seeing. But man, this guy took up the whole packaging. Definitely a deluxe figure. And these deluxe figures, if you're not aware, they are $29.99, $10 more than your normal Marvel Legends. So what do you say we start with the accessories? First off, obviously, you have his two hands. One fisted hand and one open hand, which come like this out of the box. We have his cape, which is removable. Stays in there pretty nicely, even though these pegs seem kind of short. If I can get that to focus on that. But these pegs are fairly short, but it stayed in there pretty well, actually, from what I could tell. Only, posing it in time will tell with this guy. And then as for his other accessories, he comes with an extra fisted hand if you don't want him to have a open hand, and an alternate head sculpt, more of a serious looking face over this maniacal laughter one. But honestly, I much prefer this face. And then you have a skull here, which is actually painted very nicely. It actually looks like a human skull. What with the what is it, like a darker beige white mixed in with a lot of like brown and black wash all over. Has a little dent right there from the back of the skull. Some crack lines, some shatter marks. Yeah. If you're wondering, no, there is no peg hole in this head. I thought you could put this on some Marvel Legends. That would have been cool to have like a skull or something. Maybe like the Wolverine if his head got burnt or something. Have a little regeneration. That's actually, I feel like a huge missed opportunity. But I'm sure you could just take a Dremel and start going away for all you customizers. But yes, those are his accessories. Now let's get into the figure himself. This guy's massive. I have to crouch him down for my camera. But as you notice right here, he comes with a clear rubber band piece that is meant to hold this in place, because I think, from what I've seen, it does not peg in pretty well. So if you don't want it, let's take it off. Two little peg marks right here that peg in to right there. And, oops. Come on. Not going in on this side for some reason. Go. I think I kind of got in there, but there you have it. What do you say, just for the heck of it, I put on his other head sculpt. There we go. Easy enough. Yeah. this is the Apocalypse Builder figure, or what it's based off of. From what I understand, there's been some retoolings. These gauntlets are obviously different. I believe this open hand was not part of the original one. The boots are different. They kind of look like Juggernaut boots. Could be mistaken. But yeah, overall, great looking figure. Paint apps on mine seem nearly flawless. There's a little bit of a mishap going on right here with the silver on the boot. A little bit back here as well. Nothing, you know, too game changing. Shoulder pads are nice and soft plastic. They do come off, so if you want them off, they're just a little clip in right there. Pops right back in. His face on this one looks so menacing. So let's get into articulation. As far as the head goes, it can look up that much, can look down that much, almost like he's looking inside his shirt. Maybe drop some potato chips in there. Can do a full 360, but he goes in some weird angles because of this collar. No real side to side. Shoulders are on a ball hinge. They can go up that much. Upper bicep swivel, single jointed elbows, wrist swivel and hinge. Oh, a little tight, but they can go out that much. This is some soft plastic, so it can go out, but you might want to keep in mind that it may form the plastic in the way it is if you leave it in that way too long. No boof or no wrist swivel. But one thing to note about this single jointed elbow is that this is fully straight, right? And then that's it. That's all it goes. This is all the movement you get, mainly due to the gauntlet there stopping at his bicep. So that's a bit unfortunate. Yeah, I don't know. I tried to get him in a menacing, like as you saw in the beginning, a pose with him holding the skull. I was gonna like give him like a little, you know, powered up look with his other arm, but couldn't even get his arm to bend up that far. But you know what? I'm just so overwhelmed with this figure. I'm like not even paying attention to the review anymore. So he has the upper ab crunch, so it can look down that far, pretty far. Look back that far. Lower waist swivel, ball joint hips. His feet can go out that far, can go back that far. Do the splits about that much. Upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees, boot cup swivel, and your typical Hasbro ankle rockers. So it can go back that much, forward that much, not very much forward, and then side to side. And then peg-holes at the bottom. So yes, that is your articulation for the Age of Apocalypse. Great figure. Really disappointed with this right here. I don't know if that was a problem with the old Apocalypse, but I am happy to get this one. So what do you say we jump into some comparisons? But first, let's start off with this one. I don't have it open. I just have it in package. The only other Age of Apocalypse figure I have, or I think actually in existence, the old Toy Biz one, as you can see, leaps and bounds above this one. But honestly, this was my favorite. As you can see, I've had this one for quite a long time. The box is a little warped, but I've kept it as pristine as I could. This one comes with his cape as well, but that's just one piece that comes off with the shoulder pads. Removable hand for like a buzzsaw, which I'm actually kind of disappointed this one didn't come with a buzzsaw. That would have been a nice little feature. And then you have your Shadow King in a tube right there. But if you compare it at his feet to this one, it's obviously leaps and bounds bigger. But I just want to get this in there because, well, any reason to show off this guy. Alright, and to compare him next to some of the other Age of Apocalypse figures in this line, we have him next to the AOA Morph. Let's see if I can get this back some, because this guy's massive. Then we have him next to the Sunfire. We have him next to X-Man. Then, of course, Jean Grey. Wild Child. I don't think this guy will stand. There we go. Next to the, well, I guess was second biggest figure, now third biggest figure of the wave, Dark Beast. Let's get him next to him. And then Wolverine, or Weapon X in this timeline. And then, of course, we had him next to the previous biggest figure in this wave, or tallest, Sugar Man. Still much bulkier. Honestly, still one of my top 5 favorite Build-A-Figures. But here we let me pan over a little bit. Here we go. And you know what? It's not exactly the AOA, but let's just go ahead. She's close enough. So there we go. Hasbro. I'm going to say this now. Please make a second wave of this. AOA is one of my favorite storylines. That Apocalypse figure I just showed you a while ago was the reason I started collecting these figures in general. Like AOA, Cyclops, Magneto, all those in that line. What else was there? I think there was like another Sabretooth and Wild Child 2-pack. Not a 2-pack, it was like a little. Let me, oh, here we go. I had all of these right here. This was my very first figure that I got for my birthday way back when. And then, you know, once I got older, I hunted this down. Like, I think I got this like almost 10 years ago. Over 10 years ago, I hunted this down again. When I started collecting Marvel Legends or Marvel Universe, what have you. But here we have it. The Age of Apocalypse Deluxe figure Apocalypse. I highly recommend you get this guy. He's showing up at Targets. I got mine. I ordered him off Amazon. Obviously, he didn't come in. I found this at a Target. I'll leave the link to Amazon just in case you still want to try to order it. But this review is probably one of my longest reviews because I love Age of Apocalypse so much. But until next time, guys. Later.